Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing 7 Hidden Frogs. And you can see here in this particular thumbnail, well, Sleuth is visiting some kind of ancient temple, from creation down to a temple, I guess, still in the same sort of sphere, spirits, gods, etc. Although looking at the frogs, they are far more than 7, and they are definitely not very well hidden, if that's the intention. But when you take a look at today's grid, I'm not sure that the thumbnail is inaccurate. I mean, as soon as you look at the grid, you'll be like, oh yeah, here's the 7 frogs. You'll spot them right away. So, a couple of things though before we get on with solving. I noticed quite a few comments over the last couple of days this weekend, basically discussing the fact that the puzzles are suddenly a lot harder. Now, just a quick reminder, weekend puzzles have always been a little bit harder than weekday puzzles. Maybe mistakenly, I went for 2 fairly difficult puzzles. I mean, kind of on the edge of what I would solve on this channel. And it just happened to be that both were around the same time. But no, there's absolutely no intent here of me increasing the difficulty of the puzzles that I feature on this channel. I mean, aside from the fact that this is what you guys demand, frankly, it's probably a little bit beyond my skill set. And to make sure that, you know, if my skills do improve, I do keep an eye on all the comments. I read them all, even if I don't comment on every single one of them, just to make sure that I'm constantly pitching this channel at the right level. That's the whole reason I started it. It's when I found the puzzles that were posted over at CTC, it was getting to the point where I was really struggling to solve almost any of them that were being posted. And I realized I had to go hunting for myself. After a bit of that, I realized that there's some phenomenal puzzles that just never get the attention that they deserve, such as the one that we're going to play today. 94% rating, 1-star difficulty rating, you're going to be pleased to know, so I think right up everybody's alley. Let's take a look at today's puzzle. And I think it's actually the debut of Sotehr. That's going to be my pronunciation of this handle. 7 Hidden Frogs by Sotehr. And, you know what I said. As soon as you look at the grid, you're going to be able to spot the frogs. Frog 1, Frog 2, Frog 3. That's kind of like a, you know, Papa Bear kind of style frog with the size of it. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right, rules-wise, we've got the following set of rules. So, I mean, I think the first one is obviously normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. So, ignore the fact that it's not there. I will correct it as part of the description down below as usual. What else do we have? German whisper lines. Digits along a green line must differ by at least 5. If this cell was a 2, let me actually go with a lowercase 2. Then this would have to be 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. Whichever one this is, let's say it's 8, this would have to be 1, 2, or 3 to also be 5 or more away. And then you oscillate, of course, between 1, 2, 3, 4, low digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, high digits, and back and forth. So that's German whisper lines. We've got a Renban. Digits along a magenta line contain a set of consecutive digits in any order without repeats. So if this cell is a 2, to have a consecutive set, obviously without repeats, we're in the same box. This could be 1 and 3, as in 1, 2, 3. Could also be 2, 3, 4. What I couldn't do is have 2, 3, 5. That is no longer a consecutive set. And I mean, for the avoidance of doubt, I couldn't do something like that either. Right, we've got region sum lines. Digits along a blue line are divided by box borders into sums of equal value. So if you imagine that these cells here are 2 and 3, essentially this blue line is divided by these thicker black lines, essentially the box borders. And essentially each segment, so this is one segment, and this segment must have the same value, like sum. So if this is 2, 3, this would have to be a 5. That's the way the region sum lines work. Thermometer lines. Digits along a grey thermometer strictly increase from the bulb end. If this was a 2, this would have to be 3 or higher. If it is a 3, for example, I don't have to go in the same steps. So a step of 1 can go to a step of 5, a step of 3 to go all the way to 6, that's all absolutely fine. As long as I am strictly increasing from the bulb end, and that one no longer does. So that breaks this thermometer. We've got 3 more. Well, Kropki Dots, you can count them as 2 if you want, and the X. So black Kropki Dots, where can I place one? Huh. I'm going to go with this one here. So if this cell is a 2, digits separated by a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2. So that could be 1 or 4. Essentially, one cell is double the other. Digits that are separated by a white dot are consecutive. I'm going to go for this one here. If this is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 so that it is consecutive with this one. Then last but not least, digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. If that is a 2, this cell would have to be an 8 so that the 2 cells separated by an X sum up to 10. Plenty of rules. Like, I'm almost half tempted to check. So, 1 rule, 2 rules, 3 rules, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. May very well be deliberate. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, so black Kropki Dots, a triple black Kropki Dot is almost like a classic sleuth start. As soon as you see 3 black Kropki Dots that cannot repeat, you know that the center digit is 2 or 4. Black Kropki Dots, quick reminder, they are the power of 2 digits, 1, 2, 4, and 8. The other set is 3 and 6, forget the X for a second. And as soon as you find 3 unique numbers, they've got to be from the set 1, 2, 4, 8, and it could be 1, 2, 4, or it could be 2, 4, 8. And actually, it's quite helpful that this is on a German whisper line, because essentially I need a low digit and a high digit. If you think about what I just deleted, I don't know why I did that. 1, 2, 4 doesn't work. 1 and 4 are the same polarity. 2, 4, 8 does. So this is a 2, 8 pair. This is a 4. And that's the only way we're going to be able to actually complete this frog. And I think that's going to be true for all the ones with a kind of German whisper line for a mouth smile, because they have to be of different polarity. And 3, 6 wouldn't work. I can go 3, 6, 3, because they don't actually have to be unique. But the fact that these are different numbers and different polarities will make them unique. They're different polarities, therefore they're different numbers. So they are unique. So 3, 6 doesn't work, and it's got to be 2, 4, 8. So that's true for all of them. And of course, we've got another 2, 4 in here. Actually, we can do a bit better with this cell, and I'll show you why. I almost kind of should stop deleting this until I actually clear the black Kropki Dots and then come back to it, because it's immensely useful right now. Right, if we are selecting 3 cells, they either are 1, 2, 4 in here, or they're 2, 4, 8. Notice I always have to have a 2 and 4 as part of that triplet. 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8. This cell can't be a 2. It's an 8, it's a 2. That means I can't have 2, 4, 8 in here. It's got to be 1, 2, 4. That's a 2. That 4 can't be here. That's a 1. That's a 4. Lovely. Can I do better? Yes. 2 gives me an 8, gives me a 2. Then, of course, this cell here is 3, 6, because 1, 2, 4, and 8 are all gone. So that is 3, 6. And I'm actually okay to delete the black Kropki Dots now, finally. I'm not going to have to rewrite them because I've pencil marked them all in. Interesting. Where do I go from here? Yeah, box 8. I've placed all the low digits except for 1. Well, except for 3. I mean, because I placed 1, 2, and 4. So given we have to oscillate between low and high, that's the only place I can have a low digit, which is the 3, and this is an 8, 9. And then at the bottom, to complete the box, is 5, 6, 7. Excellent. This is starting to get very restricted in that region sum line. I mean, it's not 1, 2, 4. I mean, I can technically get away with a 3. Because, yeah, this can even be a 1. So never mind, that's not the place to look. At least not yet anyway. Where am I going is the question that's on my mind. If it's 6, that's 1. And then this is 6, 7, or 9. If it's 3, that's 8 or 9. And this is 1. It's very restricted. Am I going to pencil mark this? Sure. So notice that if it's 6, that's a 1. If it's 3, that would be 8 or 9. But then that would be back to a 1 because, again, of the low digits. So there's always a 1 between these two cells. And if it's a 1, however, it's fairly open. 6, 7, and 9 is just not an 8. I mean, when we placed this came to mind straight away that it's not 2-8 pair. It's not 4-6 pair. Sorry, excuse me, Mrs. Sleuth. Right, sorry about that. Where was I? I was saying this is not... Okay, so this is 1-9 or 3-7. And if it's a 3-7, it's 3 and 7 that way. And if it's 1-9, it can go either direction. So it's kind of pushing me to think about this Renban next. And it can't actually be 1, 2, 3 anymore because you see, if I put 1, 2, 3 in here, what is the low digit that will go on this X? Right, so this is interesting. And then I have the same problem with 7, 8, and 9, because what is the high digit that will go in here? So I can't have 1, 2, 3. I cannot have a 9. I cannot have a 4. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, which would include 6 and 7. Obviously, the 8s are not here because of, Sudoku. So these are not 8s. There is 6 and 7, so there is no 7. There's no 3. That's a 1-9 pair. And 6, 7 is not really enough to resolve this. Okay, but, I mean, it's interesting, nevertheless. I mean, this... Oh. Sorry, I'll think out loud. I mean, I'm noticing the fact that these are also 3 consecutive digits. So I now know, because 5, 6, 7, and potentially 6, 7, 8 are in here, 9 is not there. 9 is down here. But now I'm also thinking about the 1. But technically that can be 1, 2, 3, can't it? No, it can't, because that's not a 2. So 1 is not there. 1 is not here. Let me show you that again. If 1 is on this anywhere, I have to have 1, 2, and 3. And it almost doesn't matter what the order is of the 1 and 3. The 2 has to be in the middle, and the 2 cannot be. So no 1, no 1, that's a 1. And 1, 2, and 4 tells me that's at least a 3. So 2 is not on here. So this 2 is on here, and the bottom part of it is gone. So that's got to be 2, 3, 4, 3. And the 4 gives me direction 2, 4. Don't need that. And then in here, I've got a 9, which can only be at the end of the thermometer, and then a 5 or 8. And it's not an 8, it's a 5. I'm hoping that was reasonably clear. 6, 7 pair, that's the 8. Because the 6 and 7 were always here, so this was the edge ones. There was optionality about the 5 and the 8 only, not the rest. And then this has to be less than 5, and it's not 1, 2, or 4. It is actually a 3. Fantastic. 3 is not this cell, 3 is here. This is 2 or 8, and it's not a 2. It's hang on, it's not 2 or 8. 8 is here. Sorry, pay attention. I imagine this is audible. That's our youngest dog being very excited that Mrs. Sleuth is back from... I mean, can I technically call it work? It is Sunday, but she's back from training. She's the trainer rather than she's training. So she's training herself. What am I saying? She's not being trained. She's the trainer. Thank you. No 2s. Is a 2. No 8. I mean, what do I have left? I need 6, 7, and 4. The 4 can't be here. It can only be there. This is a 6, 7 pair. 6, 7 pair. The 3 and 6 gives me a 7 and 6. These cells are just known. They are 1, 5, 9. And these cells are just known as well. They are not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Do I have anything? No. 4's not here. 4 would be in there. 4 can't be here, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that can't be 2. So that's the only place for a 4. And then 4 is in one of these two cells. These two cells. Maybe should use this frog. I mean, I've done frog 1, 2, 3. I haven't actually used this one's region sum line. 4, 5, 6. So I really should do something with this frog's eyes and this frog's mouth. So let's have a look at what they are. We've already established 1 is in one of these two cells. So that's not a 1, not a 2. I can make it 3. It's not 4. Yeah, it could be 5. Could be 6. Could be 7. Not 8. Not 9, because that would be 8. 7 is also quite tricky, because that can't be 8. Oh, it can't be 6. 3, 6 pair. 7 is gone. 6. That can be 5. No, because the 5 can't have 4 or 6. So that can't be 5. That can't be 6. 5. If this can't be 4, it would have to be 6. And it can't be 6. Right, so this was actually forced. And then it can't be 4, it's 2, it's 1. Lovely. That's not a 1, which makes this a high digit, makes that a low digit. And therefore that's a low, that's 1, that's 9, that's 1. 3 gives me 6, 3. Excellent. That is an 8, 9 pair, not an 8. This is now essentially a triple of 5, 6, 7. 5 feels very tight now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minimum here now is a 5, so that is definitely not a 5. This is a 5, technically, or a 6 now, because, I mean, that's the maximum 6, 7. That is almost certainly forced to be a 1. It's not a 2, and it's, yeah, 1. Lovely. No 1s, actual 1. 5 and 9 are still not resolved. 6, 7 pair gives me a 5. Come on. Yeah. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not 6. It's not, I mean, not 6. It's 7. 6. So this is 6, 8, 9. It's not 6. That's an 8, 9 pair. That's not an 8. That's a 6, 7 pair. In fact, that's the only place now for an 8. So 6 and 7. Well, 7 is not in these two cells. That's a 7. That's a 6. These are now, I mean, we've got 8, 9 pairs. So this is known. 5, 6. 6 is here. 6 is there. 5 is there. Lovely. We have another 8, 9 and something else. And that something else is a 1. And this cannot be a 9, it has to be at the end of a thermometer, otherwise, you know, if that's 9, that's 10. So that's an 8, that's a 9, that's 8, that's a 9, 8, 9. I mean, the 6 and 7 are also resolved, fantastic. 5 and 9 still not resolved. But I mean, we're basically there. That's the 7 frogs done. So this is 5 something, 5, 7. 7 is here. 5 is there, 9 is there, 5 is there. These are just known digits now, or at least digits that I can pencil mark. This is not 2 or 4, it's a 5. And then these two are 2 or 4. This is a known digit. It's a, I was going to say 7 and I broke it, but it's not 7, it's an 8. And these two are, well, the 7 can only go in here, and then the 9 is there. Moving swiftly on. Where do you go? I need a 9, which can only be in here, and then I need a 6. Then I have 3, 5, and 7. I mean, this is 5 or 7. This is 3 or 7, and that seemingly is any of them, so not helpful. In here I need a 9, which is on the cell I'm in, and then a 7, which will help. Yes, it does. Partially help. 2, 4. Is there any? Yeah, that's not 2 or 4. What is it? 5 or 6. Not brilliant. Again, not 2 or 4. I still need a 1 in this row. That's the only place for it. And then the 2 or 4 would be here. And then this is a known digit, which is a 3, which which gives me 7, 6, 7, 3, 5, and then I need another 2 or 4 in here plus something. 6, which can only be there, and therefore that's a 4, 2, 4, and if I've not made any mistakes, 2 for the finish. It's a lovely puzzle. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. It's a good way to wrap up a weekend of fairly difficult puzzles, and then back to normal difficulty, I guess, for the weekdays. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye for now.